Dear friends, it's a big pleasure for me, obviously, to spend a few hours with you to share our assessment of what has been done in the field of public institution in Ukraine over the last years. And many thanks, Valerie, for choosing this topic, because recent history shows that there is no successful transition towards an open and democratic society and a socially market economy without a strong and efficient state apparatus. I know that most of you disagree because you are ultra-liberals, but I am convinced about that. And I am ready to talk about you, after these speeches, on all experiences I have seen in Central Europe or the Western Balkans, and it is clear that if you don't have an efficient state apparatus, you don't manage to move towards a market economy. In 10 minutes, I will try to cover 4 areas in a very pragmatic way: reform of the ministries, state-owned companies, civilian security sector, and a few words about a state institution that we should not forget, the parliament. Ministries. There is, without any doubt, a very serious reform of the public administration in this country since the adoption of the public administration reform strategy in June 2016. Strong and efficient coordination of the whole process by the Minister of the Cabinet of Ministers, Sayenko. Clear monitoring and reporting mechanisms are in place, which mean that all of you can know on a daily basis where we stand and the obstacles they face. By the way, the OECD Sigma issued last month a report which gives a very good picture of where we stand in the reform of the public administration. We in the EU have contributed with more than 100 million euro under the form of budget support and technical assistance, and we believe really that this is a very successful process. Good result, a few results. Several packages of deregulation laws have been enacted. Electronic exchange of documents between government institutions have replaced tons of papers. Relevant government data have been made available on the Open Data Portal. The new law on civil servants is already fully applied. The level of access to public information is relatively high, and public administration has established a decent communication channel with the NGOs. The law on administrative procedure has been drafted in cooperation with EU experts. We have been working to put in place new and simple rules of procedures for the Cabinet of Ministers. Amendments to a package of law regulating the Cabinet of Ministers and central public administration bodies are under preparation. In 2017 and 2018, an innovative project has been put in place in the area of human resources management. This innovative project was called the Reform Staff Concept, under which more than 400 reform staff have been recruited. There is no doubt, once again, that a lot has been done to reform the public administration in this country. But there is still a long way to go. One example, today in this country, 70% of bills are prepared by individual members of the parliament. And this is just crazy. In a democracy, all draft bills should be prepared by the government. And the fact that in some line ministries, because either a lack of political will or a limited administrative capacity, they are not in a position to put on the table draft laws in their area of competence, is an evidence that we have still a long way to go. Second area, the civilian security sector. No doubt that here again a lot has been done. You all know that new anti-corruption institutions have been put in place. We have now this new law on the anti-corruption court. We have been able to create a patrol police in 2015. There has been a new law on national security. There has been the e-declaration system, the constitutional amendments on the judiciary in 2016. But, every time we are able to just do 50% of the way. We have still a lot to be done in all these areas. Anti-corruption institutions, yes, they are there, but some of them are totally ineffective. And some of them, those who are effective, are under increasing political pressure. Reform of the police, there is a patrol police, but for the rest, despite the fact that we have put on the table of the Ministry of Interior a full recommendation of what should be done to reform the police, we are not yet there. Reform of the security service, SBU, it's even worse. The law on national security, it's only a framework law, and there is a need to now draft and adopt all secondary legislation. E-declaration system, we have the declaration, but where is the verification? All this to tell you that here again, a lot has been done. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be ironic and to say, no, a lot has been done. I hope they have been clear, but for lack of political will, and in a few cases for lack of administrative capacity, we have not been able together to move ahead quicker. State-owned companies. In Ukraine, you have 3,500 state-owned companies. Here again, this is a crazy situation. To give you an example, in Poland, you have about 150 state-owned companies, and in a small country like India, you have about 250 state-owned companies. Here, 3,500. Three possibilities. For the big and strategic ones, they will stay in the hands of the state, but we have very quickly to do two things. First of all, to appoint independent and competent supervisory board, and second point, to have serious chief executive officers. This has been done in a very few state-owned companies. In most of the state-owned companies which will remain in activity, the work has to be done because ministries are still managing in a very poor way most of these companies. Second category, those who will have to be privatized. Privatization has been a major failure up to now. A new privatization working group was put in place a few months ago. Here again, Sayenko is doing an excellent job. They have been able to put on auction already about 1,000 what they call small objects, real estate company, this kind of stuff. So they have been able really to move ahead in a rather impressive way, but the bulk has to be done. The State Property Fund has been able to recruit privatization advisors. We hope that with these privatization advisors, it will be really now to give a new impetus to the whole process. But here again, we need a strong political will because we know that vested interest will try their best to derail the whole process. Finally, we have more than 1,000 companies who have to be liquidated. Here, my plea is that we don't forget the social dimension of this exercise. Please don't create a few additional millions of unemployed people in this country. We have to liquidate those who are not viable, but we have to do that in a way which is humanly bearable. Last point, and I will stop there, the parliament. We know that without an efficient parliament, we cannot get the laws adopted on time. And we know that the structure and the procedures of the Verkhovna Rada today are not helping the reformers. And therefore, it is important that Speaker Parubi, who is perfectly aware of what he has to do, can be supported by the main political factions in the Verkhovna Rada to promote the changes which have been already recommended by what we call the Jean Monnet Dialogue, led by Pat Cox, the former president of the European Parliament. Here again, we know what has to be done to get a more effective Verovna Rada, but the political will up to now has not been there. So to conclude, I will say that a lot has been done to reform the state of institution. It's very important because without a strong and efficient state apparatus, you can forget about a successful transition in this country. But for, in some cases, lack of political will, and in other cases, lack of administrative capacity, we could have been more efficient in our collective endeavor. So let's continue to fight, and together I'm sure that we will manage to reach our objectives for, obviously, the sake of a prosperous Ukraine. Slava Ukraina.